IVF embryo transfer failed a couple days ago. I'm still working through it all, but generally feeling kind of okay. I wanted to talk about what I'm doing after failed IVF embryo transfer and how I'm getting through. We have a couple embryos left, so this is the perspective from someone who has another chance. If you had a failed embryo transfer and you don't have remaining embryos, this is probably not going to be for you. The thing I keep thinking about is how this is actually the second best outcome. Obviously, the first would be the pregnancy, but there's a lot of in between that. And I would rather be in that it did not work, we can move on right away. The transfer failed, there was no implantation, versus a lot of the gray area that where you end up with a chemical pregnancy or ectopic or a miscarriage, whether that miscarriage happens next week or 3 months from now. In my opinion, those are all much harder to deal with. Right when we started trying, I got pregnant right away and I had a miscarriage. I don't want to go through that again. I will take this right here after a failed IVF embryo transfer. That's actually the second best thing that could happen versus the pregnancy, because all the rest of the stuff is going to set you back even further in your timeline, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. I don't have to have surgery. I don't have to wait for my beta to go down. I just get to try again. I talked to my doctor the day after we had the negative beta, which I really appreciate. I could have imagined scheduling a call for a week out, whether that's a policy to like help me process it or just that she was so busy. But the fact that our coordinator immediately got me on this call was really helpful because we could talk next steps. We're going to do a little bit of blood work testing. It's probably not going to tell us anything. My doctor thinks this is just one of those situations where it didn't implant, which happens. And that's part of what IVF is. Day of my negative beta was a Thursday. I spent the weekend like doing fun things that maybe I wouldn't have chosen to do if I'd been pregnant. On Friday night, I got to go see one of my favorite bands, LCD Soundsystem, at the Hollywood Bowl here in LA. Live walking distance to the Hollywood Bowl, so those shows are always super fun, and the nightmare that is parking traffic is not something I experience. I went with a bunch of friends, met up with a friend who was there, and that was just a really fun night. Last night, I decided last minute to buy tickets to go see another one of my favorite bands playing a much, much smaller venue. A band called The Whole Study that I really fell in love with in college and still love all their music, and they just played like a small little theater downtown. That felt really good. Just needed to do some things and get out. I went and had my hair done yesterday. I have the most amazing hairstylist, hair colorist. I let her do whatever she wants. And she said darker, and I was like, let's go darker. It's fitting with this post-failed IVF embryo transfer, feeling tougher yet again. I hope to get that blood work done at the clinic this week. I'm still waiting to get my period from the transfer cycle. We could potentially just do it again next cycle. And I